bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Thank you both. Madam Interpreter, we're going to go ahead on and give you the case numbers of the cases. We have a couple. The first one is Joseph Torres Roman, 2020 CF 2707. The second one is Jose Acevedo, 2022 CF 1247 AO. All right, can you just do your sound check, Ms. Interpreter?
Sí, la escucho.
There is contact, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Raise your right hand to be sworn in. Both.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, to help you God?
Sí, sí,
Yes.
All right, thank you. Are you Joseph Torres Roman?
sí,
Yes.
All right, sir, you were picked up on an out-of-county warrant from Alachua. Bond is set at no bond on the 3 counts of your out-of-county warrant. Thank you, sir. For the record, the court is appointing the public defender in all cases unless the public defender identifies a conflict and informs the court that they should not be appointed. Thank you, sir.
sí.
Jose Acevedo. Is there a victim in that case? Madam Interpreter, I am being told that it is the victim that needs the interpreter in this case, but why don't I see a victim? Am I missing something? Madam Interpreter,
Yes, Your Honor.
we're just going to have to ask the victim to raise their right hand to be sworn in.
Por favor, levante la mano derecha para prestar juramento.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, to help you God?
Jura y promete que el testimonio que va a prestar será la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad. ¿Lo jura ante Dios?
Lo juro ante Dios.
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Señora, por favor, diga su nombre para que conste en actas.
Mi nombre es María del Carmen Torres Santos.
My name is María del Carmen Torres Santos.
Please spell your last name for the record.
Señora, por favor, deletree su apellido para que conste en actas.
Torres.
Torres Santos, Santos.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Jose Acevedo, sir, I do find probable cause for the charge of battery, domestic violence by strangulation.
Señor José Acevedo determinó que existen indicios de criminalidad ante la acusación de agresión física por violencia doméstica, estrangulación.
And I am appointing the public defender to represent you in this case.
Se designa al abogado de oficio para que les represente.
Ms. Torres Santos, since you are here today, some of the attorneys may have questions to ask of you regarding this case.
Señora Torres Santos, como se encuentra usted aquí hoy, puede ser que alguno de los abogados quiera hacerle alguna pregunta.
Ms. Eugene.
Licenciada Eugene.
Good morning. Ma'am.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
How do you know the defendant?
¿De qué conoce usted al acusado?
Del lugar donde vivimos.
From the place where we live at.
Has something like this happened before?
¿Algo como esto había ocurrido anteriormente?
Sí.
Yes.
When was the last time?
¿Cuándo fue la última ocasión?
Hace 2 días.
2 days ago.
And before that?
¿Y antes de eso?
Sí.
Yes.
Were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
En este incidente, ¿las drogas o el alcohol tuvieron algo que ver?
Él usa droga y tomó alcohol. Ese día.
He uses drugs, and that day he drank alcohol.
Are you afraid of him?
Señora, ¿usted le teme?
Mucho.
A lot.
And while this case is pending, do you want to have contact with him?
Mientras este caso esté abierto, señora, ¿usted desea tener contacto con él?
No.
No.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions?
No tengo más preguntas, su señoría.
No questions from the defense, Your Honor.
Licenciado, ¿tiene alguna pregunta? No hay preguntas de parte de la defensa, su señoría.
The court orders a bond of $1,000
Se concede una fianza de $1,000.
as a condition of bond. You are ordered to not have any contact with the victim whatsoever.
Como condición de la fianza, se le prohíbe a usted tener todo tipo de contacto con la víctima.
You're ordered to not return to the location where this incident occurred,
Se le prohíbe regresar al lugar del incidente,
with the exception of a one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings.
solamente se le permitirá regresar en una ocasión acompañado de las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias.
You're ordered to surrender any firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
Si usted es dueño de algún tipo de arma de fuego o de algún otro tipo de arma, tendrá que entregarlas a las autoridades en un plazo de 24 horas luego de ser puesto en libertad.
And possess no firearms or weapons.
También se le prohíbe la tenencia de todo tipo de armas y armas de fuego.
You are ordered to consume no alcohol or illegal drugs,
Se le prohíbe el consumo de drogas ilegales y alcohol.
and submit to random alcohol monitoring.
Usted tendrá que someterse a pruebas de alcohol aleatorias.
Thank you, Mr. Acevedo.
Gracias, señora Acevedo.
Señoría, yo podría agregar algo.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Sí, señora.
La agresión yo le tengo muchísimo miedo, yo tengo pánico por mi vida y por la vida de mi familia. Anoche me visitó una persona amenazándome de un dinero que él asaltó ese día en un 7-Eleven en Inglewood.
Señora, permítame por favor interpretar lo que ha dicho hasta ahí. Your Honor, I am very afraid. I am in panic. I fear for my life. I fear for the life of my family. Last night, someone came to visit me, and that person was threatening me because he was saying that he had committed a robbery at a 7-Eleven in Englewood, and he was asking for that money.
¿Puedo continuar?
I'm not sure I understand, but if your family is also afraid, I can also order that the defendant have no contact with any of the victim's family members as well.
Señora, no estoy segura que la entiendo, pero si usted teme también por la vida de su familia, yo puedo prohibirle a él que esté en comunicación, en contacto con su familia.
I am not able to order any conditions based on some hearsay statement that he has committed a robbery at a 7-Eleven. I cannot, that's not dependable.
Pero yo no puedo ordenar algo relacionado a una prueba de referencia que se ha presentado aquí de que él cometió un hurto en un 7-Eleven.
But I can tell that you are afraid and afraid for your family, so I will add an order that the defendant have no contact with any family members.
Pero yo veo que usted tiene temor por su propia vida y la de su familia, así que voy a añadirle a la orden que se le prohíbe a él tener contacto con los miembros de su familia.
It will be up to you and family members to inform the state if the defendant violates this court order.
Y entonces, señora, usted y sus familiares tendrán que informarle a las autoridades si él incumple con esta orden.
Comprendo. Es una persona sumamente violenta, sumamente violenta. Yo temo. Él me estranguló. Él siempre me está dando. Yo temo por él. Yo temo por todo.
He
Ay,
is,
compasión, Dios. ¿Cómo es posible?
he is extremely
Es
violent.
Muy violento.
Señora, permítame interpretar. He is extremely violent. He's very violent, very aggressive. Very aggressive. I fear. He hit me. He hits me all the time. He tried to strangle me.
Well, I have ordered that he has no contact with you. He cannot return to the residence except for one time with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings.
Señora, yo le he prohibido a él tener todo tipo de comunicación y contacto con usted. A él se le ha prohibido regresar al lugar del ilícito. Solamente podrá regresar en una ocasión y tiene que estar acompañado de las autoridades para que recoja sus pertenencias.
He should have no contact with you and the family members whatsoever outside of that one time with the presence of law enforcement.
Entiendo
A él
yo que hay
a él
una...
se le ha prohibido.
I'm
A él
sorry.
se le ha prohibido todo tipo de contacto con usted y con sus familiares, salvo en esa ocasión que vaya a buscar sus pertenencias y que tendrá que estar acompañado de las autoridades.
And you need to speak with the prosecutor regarding what other options you may have to protect yourself and your family.
Señora, usted tiene que hablar con la fiscalía para que ellos la orienten acerca de qué otras alternativas tiene usted para protegerse a usted misma y a su familia.
And with that being said, Ms. Eugene, do you have any other recommended conditions that you believe are appropriate in this case?
Y habiendo dicho esto, licenciada Eugene, ¿tiene usted alguna otra condición que crea que sea adecuada en este caso?
At this time, Your Honor, I do not. I do, however, make note that the defendant is on state probation, so it is more than likely that probation is going to be violated and he will be held no bond. But I do not know when that might happen.
En estos momentos, su señoría, no tengo otras condiciones que sugerir, pero quiero hacerle saber que el acusado se encuentra en régimen de libertad vigilada, lo cual es probable que con esta acusación él haya incumplido con ese régimen de libertad vigilada y se le retire, se ponga a prisión preventiva, pero yo no sé cuándo es que esto vaya a suceder.
Thank you, Ms. Eugene.
Gracias, licenciada.
Thank you, Ms. Torres Santos.
Gracias, señora Torres
Necesito
Santos.
protección. Esta persona tiene una probatoria de 10 años y 20 años en la cárcel. Y salen 3 años y vuelve a hacer. ¿Qué?
Ay,
Va a hacer
señora,
todo lo posible por conseguirme. Va a hacer todo lo posible.
Señora, permítame interpretar. I need protection. This person has a 10-year probation, 20 years in jail, and then he comes out in 3 years, and he's gonna do everything in his power to get to me. I need protection.
Yes, ma'am, I have heard you, but also more importantly, the state has heard you. I am unable to get actively involved in the protection of you. That is something that law enforcement and the state will need to do.
Señora, la he escuchado, pero más importante aún es que la fiscalía la ha escuchado a usted. A mí me queda prohibido estar activamente involucrada en su protección, pero eso es algo que podrá trabajar las autoridades en conjunto con la fiscalía.
I can sense your fear, and it seems very real.
Yo veo el temor que usted tiene y es muy real.
And all I can say is I encourage you to immediately call law enforcement, call 911 if he violates this court order, if he comes into your presence, because I am ordering him to stay away from you.
Y señora, lo que yo le voy a alentar a usted que por favor, a él ya se le ha prohibido que esté en comunicación con usted. Si él está en su presencia, le voy a solicitar encarecidamente que llame inmediatamente a las autoridades al 911.
Ok.
Ok.
Entiendo yo que una persona que esté 20 años presa y 10 años de probatorio y 3 afuera y es suficiente como para que esté afuera con toda la violencia que él hace, con todo lo violento que es, con todos los estrangulamientos que me ha hecho, con todos los golpes que me tengo encima. ¿Cómo es posible que pueden sacar a la calle un hombre así?
I cannot understand how someone that has been 20 years in jail, 10 years probation, could come out in only 3 years with all the things that he has done, with all the violence that he has committed, with all the times he has hit me and all the times he has strangled me. I cannot believe that he is out.
State, I think that the victim is requesting that she be notified of every hearing that is involving this defendant so she can be heard.
Yes, Your Honor,
A la
I'll make note of that.
A la fiscalía le digo que por favor tome nota de que se le notifique a la víctima de todas y cada una de las audiencias a las cuales tenga que presentarse este acusado para que ella pueda tener conocimiento y expresarse si así lo desea.
I remind you, Ms. Torres Santos, that you have a right to be heard.
Señora Torres Santos, les recuerdo que usted tiene derecho a ser escuchada.
Whoever is the prosecutor that is assigned to this case will need to inform you of every hearing involving this defendant.
Quien quiera que sea el fiscal al que se le asigne este caso tendrá que notificarle a usted de todas las audiencias que se celebren en el mismo.
And you will have a right to be present, and you will have a right to be heard.
Y usted tendrá derecho a estar presente en esas audiencias y a que se exprese usted en esas audiencias.
And you will be able to express to the judge exactly what you have expressed to me today.
Ese día podrá usted decirle al juez exactamente lo mismo que me ha dicho a mí aquí hoy.
And the fear and the terror that has been happening between him and you and your family.
Y expresarle el miedo y el terror de lo que ha sucedido entre él y su familia.
Because the judge who is presiding over that case will need to know that information.
El
La
juez
misma
que está
familia
encargado-
me dijo que él era sumamente violento, que la violenta.
So ma'am, I'm going to go ahead on, and I know you're saying something else. The interpreter can tell me what it is, but I'm going to go ahead on and have you, ma'am, I'm going to go ahead on and have you escorted out so that I can go and handle a few other cases. Miss Interpreter, what's the last thing she said?
She said that even his family told me that he was aggressive. Do not let him get out of jail. Please, I beg you, do not let him get out of jail.
Okay. All right,
Señora,
ma'am.
le he escuchado, le voy a pedir ahora que salga de la sala.
I hear you, ma'am. All right, I'm going to order no bond. No bond.
Y le he escuchado, no se concede fianza, se impone prisión preventiva.
All right, ma'am, I changed the order to no bond.
Your Honor, he is entitled to a bond on this charge.
Then you can file a motion. I order
Muy bien,
no bond.
señora. He ordenado que no se le conceda fianza en este caso. Su señoría, él tiene derecho a fianza. Bueno, entonces usted, licenciado, podrá erradicar una solicitud.
All right, ma'am, I heard you. I ordered no bond. There will probably be a hearing, and you need to be there at that hearing, tell the judge how you feel about judge changing that from no bond to a bond.
Esta persona pertenece a ganga, ustedes no entienden.
Señora, señora, yo la he escuchado y no le he concedido fianza, se ha impuesto prisión preventiva, pero con toda certeza se celebre una audiencia al respecto y usted deberá estar allí para que le exprese al juez de esta futura audiencia lo mismo que me ha dicho a mí aquí hoy. Your Honor,
Gracias,
this
señor
man,
Díaz.
he is in gangs. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Gracias, señora.
sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, may I put my objection on the record?
You just did.
Can I give the
Puedo
reasons for the
salir?
objection?
You already put your objection on the record, but if you want to take more time on this case, I will go ahead on and recall it at the end of the morning for you to put anything else on the record that you think you need to put on the record. But I'm moving on with the next case right now.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Su señoría, ¿puedo hacer constar mi objeción en acta? Bueno,
Yeah.
licenciado, ya usted lo ha hecho.
Thank you, Ms. Interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't know if it's me or I don't know if it's these papers, but the next few papers are not the next few people. Okay, unless it's this guy. Benjamin Warner Naylor.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mailer, you were picked up on an out-of-county warrant. Bond is ordered at $1,000. It's a warrant out of Lee County, sir.
Yes, ma'am, I know that.
All right. You doing it on the line? All right, well, we'll pass that one. Just let me know when they're ready and we'll call it. Did we know that before I let the interpreter go? Okay. Are we giving me that one next, or? Okay, that's fine. Sean Jewell? Are you Sean? Are you Sean Jewell? Sean Jewell? Are you Sean Jewell?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Jewell, the court finds probable cause in your charge of trespass on property after a warning. Bond is set in that case at $500.
Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve, I believe, yesterday.
I can't recall that.
May I state it on the record?
You may?
I believe the state's offer was an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return. I believe there's an exact address from the incident.
No return to Walgreens located at 5601 North Hiawassee Road.
And Your Honor, I did have a chance to speak with Mr. Jewell about the state's offer as well as went over the plea form with him. I believe he wishes to resolve today
All right, and how does he wish to resolve the case?
with a no contest plea, Your Honor.
All right, has he filled out the plea form?
He can sign it right now, yes, sir. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may. Is this one next? Mr. Jewell, is this your signature here at the bottom of this plea form?
Yes.
Did you read the plea form in its entirety before you signed it?
Huh?
Did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes.
Did you have any questions about anything contained on the plea form?
No.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs or medicine today?
No.
Do you understand that a conviction on your case will subject you to deportation if you're not a U.S. citizen?
Oh, yes.
All right, there is a sufficient factual basis in your case. You're alert, you're intelligent, I'll adjudicate you guilty, order you to pay mandatory court costs within 180 days of your release, and I am ordering your release as to this charge. I'm ordering that you receive credit for the time you've already served. How many days?
Yes, 3 days.
In the amount of 3 days. And that you not return to 5601 North Hiawassee Road. You have the right to appeal the sentence. If you wish to appeal, you must do so in writing within 30 days of today's date. Do you have any questions?
No.
Thank you, sir. So is Gile Blanco ready? All right.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jaime Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter.
All right, good morning. This is case number 2022 MM 730AO. Defendant Hadiliana Galay Blanco, Galay Blanco. And it is the victim, I am told, the victim who needs the interpreter and not the defendant.
Very well, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Galay Blanco, ma'am, I'm gonna swear in the person, the witness over here, and then we'll start with your court hearing.
Vamos a tomarle el juramento a la persona que es la testigo y entonces empezamos con la audiencia.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Usted jura solemnemente o afirma que el testimonio que va a dar aquí será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad con la ayuda de Dios.
Sí.
Please state your name for the record.
Su nombre completo, por favor, señora.
Marisol Vázquez Morales.
Marisol Vázquez Morales.
And would you spell your last name for the record?
¿Cómo se deletrea el apellido, por favor?
V-A-Z-Q-U-E-Z. Vázquez.
V-A-Z-Q-U-E-C. Vázquez.
All right. As to you, Ms. Galay Blanco, the court does find probable cause for the offense of battery domestic violence.
En cuanto a la señora Garay Blanco, se ha encontrado causa probable motivo fundado por violencia doméstica.
And the witness, Vasquez Morales, is present, and the court will hear testimony from the witness in your case if the attorneys have any questions of her.
Y la testigo está presente en este caso y se va a tomar el testimonio si los abogados también tienen alguna pregunta.
Ms. Eugene, you may inquire.
Good morning.
Buenos días, señora.
Buenos días.
Good morning.
How do you know the defendant?
¿Cómo conoce usted a la acusada?
La conozco hace 16 años. Estamos juntas.
I have known her for 16 years that we have been together.
Has something like this happened before?
¿Algo como esto había sucedido anteriormente?
Sí, incluso ella es una paciente psiquiátrica. Ayer mismo estaba alucinando. Hablé con los sheriff. Le dije que ella necesitaba un hospital. La sheriff me dijo que la iban a trasladar a un hospital. Ella estaba alucinando ayer. Ella no lo hizo por ella misma, sino ella necesita su medicamento y aquí están las pruebas de todos los récords. Ella ha desaparecido varias veces en un par de meses.
Momento, déjeme traducir. Yes, she is, it has happened before. She is, in fact, a psychiatric patient. I informed the sheriff that she was hallucinating because this was all part of a hallucination. I told the sheriffs that she needed to go to a hospital. They told me that they were going to take her to a hospital, but she was having these hallucinations. It was not her fault. She does not do this of her own free will. It's part of our medical issue, and what she needs is our medication and treatment.
Are you afraid of her?
¿Usted le tiene temor a ella?
No.
No.
While this case is pending, if she were to return to the home, would you feel safe?
Mientras este caso está pendiente, si ella regresa a la casa, ¿usted se sentiría segura?
Sí, siempre y cuando esté con sus medicamentos, claro que sí.
Yes, provided that she is on medication, I would certainly feel fine.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
No tenemos más preguntas para ella.
No questions from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, at
La
this
defensa
time,
no
the
tiene
court will order a bond in the amount of $500
Muy bien, el tribunal va a ordenar una fianza de $500.
as a condition of bond. The court is ordering that you have no hostile contact with the victim,
Como condición de la fianza, se está ordenando que la acusada no puede tener contacto hostil con la víctima.
and that you possess no firearms or weapons,
No puede poseer armas de fuego ni ninguna otra arma peligrosa.
that you surrender any firearms or weapons in your possession within 24 hours of your release,
Y si tiene alguna arma de fuego o arma peligrosa en su poder, tiene que entregársela a la policía durante las primeras 24 horas luego de ser liberada.
The court is further ordering that you consume no alcohol and no illegal drugs.
El tribunal también está ordenando que no puede consumir alcohol ni ninguna droga ilegal.
Of course, you may take any prescribed medications.
Pero claro está, se puede tomar cualquier medicina que sea recetada.
Any questions?
¿Alguna pregunta?
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Vasquez Morales.
Gracias. Muy amable.
You're welcome. You're very
Mr.
kind.
Interpreter, the next case, did I give you the case number on this one?
I am 21 MM730.
Okay, 22.
2.
And then the next case is Anderson Enrique Velasquez Sabio. And the case number on that one is 22 MM711AO.
Thank you.
And Mr. Interpreter, I'm also being told that it is the victim that needs the interpreter in this case as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
¿Usted jura solemnemente o afirma que el testimonio que va a dar será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad con la ayuda de Dios?
Sí.
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Por favor, su nombre.
Angélica Sabio Mata.
Angélica Sabio Mata.
Spell your last name.
¿Cómo se deletrea el apellido?
Sabio
Sabio.
Mata.
Mata. Mata. Mata.
Ms. Sabio Mata, how old are you?
¿Qué edad tiene usted, señora Sabio Mata?
42 años.
42 years old.
State.
Your Honor?
Hold on one second.
Permítame un segundo.
State, were there multiple victims in this case?
En este caso hubo múltiples víctimas.
According to the witness form, Your Honor, there are 2 slots for a victim. One of them has not been completed, and the second victim appears to be the brother, Emerson Velasquez Sabio.
Muy bien, en el formulario hay 2 espacios para víctimas, el primero no se ha llenado y el segundo parece ser un hermano, Anderson Velázquez Sabio.
Okay, this is Anderson,
Pero este es Anderson,
the defendant.
el acusado.
And ma'am, what did you say your first name was?
¿Cuál dijo usted que era el primer apellido suyo?
Sabio.
Sabio, S-A-B-I-O.
What about your first name? Are you Angelica?
¿Usted es Angélica?
Sí,
Yes.
Okay, all right. And how old is Emerson?
¿Qué edad tiene Anderson?
15. ¿Anderson o Emerson?
Emerson.
Anderson
E.
or Emerson?
Emerson 15.
Emerson is 15.
All right. State, all right, so when I reviewed this, I reviewed it as Emerson being the victim.
Muy bien, cuando yo revisé esto, yo entendí que Emerson era la víctima.
Is Emerson present?
¿Emerson se encuentra presente?
No.
All right, let me look at this again.
Yes, Your Honor.
Déjeme examinar esto otra vez.
All right, so after relooking at this, I don't see how Angelica fits into this.
Muy bien, después de examinar esto, no puedo ver cómo encaja la señora Angélica en esto.
The victim, according to the police narrative that was sworn to, is Emerson.
Porque la víctima, de acuerdo con la declaración juramentada por la policía, fue Emerson
And not Angelica.
y no fue Angélica.
So state, I guess you can enlighten me.
Así que si la fiscalía me puede ilustrar.
Your Honor, I can inquire if you like, but at this point, it would appear that the witness was just a witness to the incident and happens to be the mother of both defendant and victim.
Sí, su señoría, yo puedo indagar si usted desea, pero aparentemente la testigo fue solamente testigo de los eventos
Well,
y es
that's
la
one
madre de
speculation
tanto
that
la
we can
víctima
make.
como el agresor.
I guess we could speculate on that, or I guess you could inquire. But
Bueno, podríamos especular, pero
there's nothing in the narrative that
pero en la nota
confirms
no
that
dice
she's the
nada,
mother of either Emerson or Anderson,
confirmando que ella sea la madre de Emerson
or that she was present and saw what happened.
o que ella estuvo presente y vio lo que sucedió.
It does say Anderson stated his mother, Angelica Sabio Mata, requested him take Emerson's cell phone away. So at least we can determine that she is the mother of the defendant, Your Honor.
Well, that's hearsay. I guess we can speculate. I mean, we don't know.
Okay.
I mean, some Angelica, I mean, I know families where the sister and the mom have the same name. I don't know who she is.
Yo conozco familias donde la madre y la hija tienen el mismo nombre, así que yo en realidad no sé quién es la señora.
¿Puedo decir algo? Ayer
say
me
something?
llamaron de la corte y me dijeron que tenía que venir yo. Yo pregunté si Emerson lo tenía que traer y me dijeron que no, que tenía que
They
venir
called me
yo
from court
sola.
yesterday, and I asked whether I had to come, and they said that or if I had to bring Emerson, they said that I had to come myself, that I didn't need to bring Emerson, that I could come alone.
I guess the state can ask you questions and we'll see what you know.
Le voy a pedir entonces a la fiscalía que le haga unas preguntas para ver qué es lo que usted conoce.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Buenos días, señora.
Buenos días.
How do you
Morning.
know the defendant?
¿Cómo conoce usted al acusado?
De toda la vida. Es
His
mi
whole
hijo.
life. He's my son.
And with regard to Emerson Velasquez Sabio, what is your relationship with him?
Y con relación a Emerson Velázquez Sabio, ¿cuál es la relación suya con él?
Soy su madre.
I'm his mother.
Did you witness the incident yesterday?
¿Usted fue testigo ocular del incidente de ayer?
Sí.
Yes.
Can you please tell the court what you witnessed?
¿Usted le puede informar al tribunal qué fue lo que usted vio?
En casa, la cabeza de la casa es Anderson. El
So at
soporte
home,
de
the
nosotros.
head of the household is Anderson. He is our support.
Wait a
Y
minute.
el equi-
Wait, just one moment.
Un momento, señora.
How old is Anderson?
¿Qué edad tiene Anderson?
26 años.
26 years old.
Okay, you can continue.
Objection.
Pues continúe.
Relevance.
Sustain, it's really not relevant.
Objeción a relevancia y en realidad no es relevante.
Como Emerson no quiere ir a la escuela, está portándose mal, él como su hermano mayor y que es mi ayuda en
Objection again.
casa,
Is she answering the
le
irrelevant
quitó el
question?
teléfono.
Excuse me. I sustain the objection to the age of Anderson.
Yo declaré al lugar la objeción en cuanto a la edad de Anderson.
I did not sustain the objection to the state's question.
No fue que acepté la objeción a la pregunta de la fiscalía.
And the witness is allowed to answer the state's question.
Y por lo tanto se le permite a la testigo contestar la pregunta que hizo la fiscal. Would Your Honor need the interpretation of as far as the witness got?
Yes, sir.
Emerson is the youngest. He has been misbehaving. He doesn't want to go to school. And Anderson, as the oldest, is the one who disciplines.
Yes, but can you please tell the court what you witnessed yesterday, only what you saw?
Muy bien, pero por favor, limítese a decirle al tribunal lo que usted vio, solamente lo que usted pudo ver.
Lo que yo vi fue que Emerson levantó la voz pidiendo su teléfono
What I saw was that Emerson raised his voice asking for his phone back.
y se puso alterado y
He
llegaron a los
became
golpes.
agitated, and then they came to blows.
I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Pues no tengo más preguntas para la señora en este momento.
All right. I'm assuming the defense has no questions.
Well, I would like to inquire, Your Honor.
Well, go right ahead.
Quisiera indagar con la señora. Pues adelante.
Ma'am, are you scared of Anderson Velasquez, the person at the podium?
Señora, ¿usted le tiene temor a Anderson Velázquez, el caballero que está en el podio?
No.
No.
Would you like to have contact with Anderson while the case is pending?
¿Usted quisiera mantener contacto con Anderson mientras este caso está pendiente?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you comfortable with Anderson having contact with Emerson while the case is pending?
¿Usted se siente cómoda que Anderson pueda tener contacto con Emerson mientras el caso está pendiente?
Sí.
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Pues no tenemos más preguntas.
I'm not going to be able to allow contact between Anderson and Emerson based on what I've heard.
Basado en lo que yo he escuchado, no puedo permitir contacto entre
If either side
Anderson
wants to
y
ask
Emerson.
additional questions, I'll give you a few minutes and you can ask them. Otherwise, I'm ready to resolve this case.
Si alguna de las partes quiere hacer preguntas adicionales para obtener más información, con gusto lo permitimos, pero si no, yo estoy lista para tomar una decisión en este caso.
Nothing from the state.
Nada de parte de la fiscalía.
No questions from the defense.
All right, at this time, the court will order a bond of $500.
Muy bien, pues el tribunal va a
As a
imponer una
condition of
fianza de
bond, the court is
$500.
ordering no contact whatsoever with the victim Emerson, Emerson.
Y como condición de la fianza, no se va a permitir que el acusado tenga ningún contacto
Velázquez Savio.
con su hermano Emerson Velázquez Savio.
The court is ordering possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of bond and surrender any firearms or weapons to law enforcement.
El tribunal está ordenando que el acusado no puede tener posesión de ningún arma de fuego ni otra arma peligrosa y cualquier arma de fuego o arma peligrosa que pueda tener debe entregársela a las autoridades
Within 24 hours of release.
dentro de las primeras 24 horas de ser liberado.
The court will allow the defendant a one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings.
el tribunal va a permitir que el acusado regrese a la casa en una sola ocasión acompañado por las autoridades para recoger cualquier pertenencia personal.
Anderson Velasquez Sabio must maintain a separate residence from the victim.
Pero el señor Anderson Velázquez Sabio debe mantener una residencia por separado de la víctima.
Any questions?
¿Alguna pregunta?
Thank you, Ms. Sabio Mata.
Muchas gracias a usted, señora Sabio Mata.
Your Honor, if there were any DCF orders, can we have any,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
if there were any DCF orders, could Mr. Anderson comply with any DCF orders? If DCF investigates and says,
Are you asking if Mr.,
as far as contact is all I'm arguing.
well, I don't know, you're asking me to anticipate DCF orders? Or do we know for sure there are DCF orders?
I do not know for sure, Your Honor.
I'll decline to make any type of order regarding DCF orders at this time. This line?
Would that be all for the interpreter, Your Honor?
I think so. Hold on, let me confirm. Are there any more, is there any more need for a Spanish interpreter? I don't believe so. Okay.
Will the
Mr. Interpreter,
interpreter inquire from the public?
yes, please. Why not? Yes.
¿Hay alguna persona de los testigos que están en el público que necesite traducción a español? Por favor, levante la mano.
Oh. I'm sorry, they said Haitian Creole. I can transfer the call back if it's for Spanish, Your Honor. I am Haitian Creole.
Ma'am, this is Judge
Hello?
Allen speaking, and I'm trying to conduct hearings here this morning in Spanish, Creole, and English. I do need a little patience. I want to be sure that we
okay.
don't have any additional Spanish cases, at which time we will move on to the Creole case. So just give me a moment, please.
There's no more Spanish.
Oh,
Thank you, Deputy. Mr. Interpreter, Spanish interpreter, you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, regarding the Haitian or Creole interpreter, ma'am, please state your name.
Ruth Etienne.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
We're going to go ahead on and swear in both the defendant and the victim in this case, but I'll go ahead and give you the name of the case first. Mazinho Valdo Mark, M-A-R-C-K, 2022 MM732AO. And actually, we probably need to swear you in as well, Ms. Etienne.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you solemnly swear to translate from Creole to English, from English to Creole to the best of your ability?
I do.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimonies that you guys are about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Est-ce que nous sermentons que déclaration que nous parlons pour nous faire, témoignage pour le faire, c'est vrai, la vérité, il y a que la vérité, et de nous bon Dieu?
Oui.
Please state your
Yes.
names for the record.
Ça pour dire non pour dossier, répétez non, prénom, nom de famille.
Kedna Jean.
Ketna Jean.
As to the, Jean, can you spell your last name for the record?
OK, pour signature qui Jean, et pour les signatures pour dossier.
Jean.
Thank you. Mr. Mark,
Merci.
the court finds probable cause in your case for the charge of battery, domestic violence.
OK, Monsieur Marc, tribunal l'enjoint cause probable pour charge ça que tu reproché là, battery. Your Honor, can you please repeat the second part for me? Battery and domestic, you said?
Yes, domestic violence.
Et puis domestique violence.
Ms. John is here to provide testimony, and I will hear from her before announcing bond conditions.
Mademoiselle Jean là pour le bail témoignage par lui, m'a bien pour m'tendre lui. Et puis tout moi va annoncer ça qui est les cautions.
Good morning.
Bonjour.
Good morning.
How do you know the defendant?
Comment fait qu'on est des moun qui entend?
Dice Mari.
He's my husband.
Has something like this happened before?
Est-ce que bagay comme ça qu'on arrive déjà?
No.
No.
Were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
Est-ce que tu as drogue, alcool, ça veut dire ta fia qui t'est entré, qui t'est dans l'incident, ça tu t'es participé là-dedans tout?
No.
No.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
No.
While this case is pending, would you like to have contact with him?
Yes.
Pendant qu'à ça, yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Moi, pas de questions encore. L'honneur.
Thank you, Ms. John. Mr. Mark, the court is ordering a $500 bond or PTR. As a condition of bond or PTR, you must have no hostile contact with the victim. You must surrender any firearms or weapons to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release, and you must possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of bond or PTR. I have appointed the public defender to represent you. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Interpreter. Do you need me to repeat that?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Mark, I am ordering a $500 bond or PTR.
Monsieur Marc, moi-même, m'a commandé pour vous-même, comme pour Canada sous caution $600, ou bien TTR.
I am ordering you to have no hostile contact with the victim.
Et m'a commandé tout pour pas avoir aucun contact hostile ensemble avec victime là.
You are also ordered to surrender any firearms or weapons to law enforcement.
Et puis, sous ta possède des armes à feu, sous ta possède quelque chose soit salier, moi recommandé pour retourner au bail argent de garde, ça nous même nous les polices.
Within 24 hours of your release.
Non, m'a ba ou 24 heures de temps pendant que yo la gueule là.
Further, you must possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of bond or PTR.
Égal là pour condition que nous l'avons sous caution, pas supposé posséder du tout armes à feu.
Do you have any questions?
Sous TTR.
Oh, sorry, Ms. Interpreter. Do you have any questions, Mr. Mark?
Monsieur Marc, est-ce qu'il y a une question? When do I have to pay?
Whenever you get ready to get out of jail.
L'on parle pour sortir dans garde à vue en relais prison.
You can post the bond, or
Capable poster caution, payer comme là.
Or since you qualify for PTR, you can opt to participate in the PTR pretrial release program.
Ou bientôt, comme on qualifie pour TTR, ou capable électionner pour capable participer dans le programme ça le TTR là.
If you decide you wish to participate in the PTR, which is the pretrial release program, you do not have to post the bond.
Sou deside pou sa yo rele P comme papa, PTR programme nan, sa li même sou deside pou participer la dani, au lieu ou pa gen pou payer l'argent caution que yo mande ou lan.
But,
Pre-trial, sa yo rele pre-jugement séance.
but you will be required to comply with the monitoring conditions of the pretrial release program.
Men wap genye tou pou adone ou pou respekte sa ki rele règlement pou yo monitore ou ki gen rapport ansam avèk pre-trial lan, sa vè di pre-séance lan.
Those conditions will be explained to you by the PTR case manager.
Kondisyon sa yo, règlement sa yo, yo va explike ou yo gon moun ki a pa signé a ou même, ki yo rele case manager, se li men ki va explike ou terminoloji sa yo, sa ou ve di.
Any other questions?
Ou so gen lot kesyon.
M deside pou m bay $500.
I decided to pay the $500.
That's fine. I don't know where they pay it at. The deputy will tell you where to pay it at. I don't know where to pay it at.
Mwen pa konen ki bo pou al paye, men polisyen va di ou, depite, va di ou ki kote pou al paye.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. John.
Merci. Mademoiselle Jean, merci.
You're excused. You can leave. Thank you, Miss Interpreter.
You're welcome. Thank you for using our service, Your Honor.
Pleasure. Is this next? Okay. Brian Arturo Asensio Alaman. The court does find probable cause for the charges of aggravated stalking after an injunction, domestic violence, and written threats to kill. Bond is set at $2,500 as to count 1. Bond is set at $1,000 as to count 2. The court is ordering that you have no contact whatsoever with the victim, that you possess no firearms or weapons and surrender any firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of release. You are authorized at one time visit in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings and maintain a separate residence. The court is revoking the bond in case number,
Your Honor.
is this the case number up here or is this it? No. 2022 CF 661AO as to all counts. Bond is set at no bond.
Your Honor, may I be heard before taking action on that? I believe the events in the current warrant predate his bonding date in the out-on-bond case. I believe the events in the warrant took place on January 15th, while he bonded on January 20th, so.
Nevertheless, the court is revoking the bond. Bond is set at no bond.
I would object for the record as well, Your Honor.
The court order is without prejudice to the public defender to file a motion citing the facts that the public defender believes are appropriate and provable in the motion. Melissa Page Graham.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am, the court finds probable cause for the offense of aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic violence, and the court will set bond at $1,000 in this case. Further, the court is ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of bond. Court's ordering that you surrender all firearms or weapons to law enforcement within 24 hours of release. And the court is ordering that you have no contact whatsoever with the victim in this case. You're authorized for a one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to recover any personal effects and belongings. Thank you, ma'am. Stephen Laverne. Mr. Laverne, the court does find probable cause for count one, tampering with a witness to hinder communications, and bond is set at $2,500. And battery, domestic violence, bond is set at $500. The court is ordering as a condition of bond that you have no contact with the victim, that you surrender all weapons or firearms to law enforcement within 24 hours of release, and you possess no firearms or weapons. The court is, that's the court's order. Thank you, sir. Well, actually, the court will allow a one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to recover any personal effects and belongings. Thank you, sir. Aaron Anthony Norwood. The court finds probable cause for count one, battery, domestic violence by strangulation, bond is set at $1,000. False imprisonment, bond is set at $1,000. Tampering with the witness, bond is set at $100. As to all counts, the court is ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, that you surrender any firearms or weapons to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release, and that you have no contact with the victim with the exception of a one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to recover any personal effects and belongings. And thank you, sir. Joseph Perez. The court finds probable cause for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Bond is set at $3,500. That's count one. Count two, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Bond is set at $3,500. Count three, battery. Bond is set at $500. Count four, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Bond is set at $100. And the last count, battery, bond is set at $500. As to all counts, the court is ordering that you have no contact with the victim whatsoever, that you possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of your bond, and that you surrender any firearms or weapons to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You do have the right to a one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve any personal belongings and effects. Thank you, sir. Manuel Alfredo Uceda. Mr. Uceda. The court does find probable cause as to count one, kidnapping. Bond remains at no bond. As to count two, sexual battery on a person 18 years or older, bond will remain set at no bond. As to count three, false imprisonment, court will set bond at $5,000. As to count four, battery, bond is set at $500. As to count five, aggravated stalking, bond is set at $500. As to count six, violation of a repeat violence injunction, domestic violence, bond is set at $500. And as to count seven, assault, bond is set at $500. The conditions of the bond are that you have no contact whatsoever with the victim in this case, that you possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of your bond, and surrender all firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
He's entitled to an Arthur hearing as well, Your Honor, on count one and two with his attorney present.
State, are there any other conditions that the state is recommending in this case?
No, Your Honor, I believe the no contact and the no firearms would cover it, Your Honor. Your Honor, if we could, just in the abundance of caution, also do a no return.
Yes, the court is ordering no return. Yes, ma'am. Well, let me see the PC. Yeah. No, the affidavit. The court wants to review this again because, I don't know, it seems like to me whatever happened may have happened at his house.
That's where the violence took place, Your Honor.
So I don't know if I want to order him not to return to his own, I don't know that they were residing together.
No, Your Honor, they weren't residing together. However, if you look at the bottom of page 2, starting with on Friday, January 21st, she noticed the defendant outside of her apartment.
Okay, well, so you're asking me to order him not to return to her apartment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, all right. That's, yes, the court will order no return to the victim's residence. And as to request for the defense, request on an Arthur hearing, are you prepared to go forward now?
I'm not requesting one now. I was
Oh,
just,
okay.
for the record.
That will be granted, and you can set that within the vision. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. What's granted is your right to have the Arthur hearing. I'm not setting bail at this time on count 1 and count 2.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay. Michael Washington? As to, sorry, battery by domestic violence, by strangulation, the court does find probable cause and bond is set at $500 with the condition that you have no contact with the victim, that you not return to the location where this incident occurred, with the exception of one time in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve any personal effects and belongings. You possess no firearms or weapons and surrender any firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Thank you.
Your Honor, I would also ask for no drugs, no alcohol.
Basis? Just remind me, because I read so many this morning.
Because, Your Honor, the victim stated had been drinking alcohol and possibly smoking crack cocaine, which caused him to act strangely and began talking about the Vietnam War.
All right. The court is also going to order that you possess and consume no alcohol or illegal drugs as a condition of your bond, and that you're subject to random alcohol and drug monitoring. Sandy Brokenborough. Good morning. The court finds probable cause for the offense of battery, domestic violence, and sets bond at $500 in order that you have no contact with the victim, that you possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of your bond, and surrender any firearms or weapons to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You are allowed a one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve any personal belongings and effects as needed.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Bernardo Dennis. Mr. Dennis?
I'm right here.
The court is there a witness in the Dennis case? Let's swear in the witnesses in the Dennis case. There appear to be 2.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, to help you God?
Yes,
Please state your names for the record.
I'm Karen Morslin, and this is my daughter,
Okay, look, one at a time. What is your name?
Karen Morslin,
And spell your last name.
Marslin.
Marslin?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Marslin. And then the other person, what is your name?
My name's Nefertiti.
Take down my mask, again.
My name's Nefertiti Ben Yusuf.
Can you come to the microphone?
My name's Nefertiti Ben Yusuf.
Can you spell your last name for me?
Benyusuf.
Benyusuf?
No,
Ben Yusuf.
Benyusuf.
Benny Yusuf?
Yes, Ben Yusuf.
Ben Yusuf. All right, Miss Ben Yusuf, how old are you?
15.
15, okay. And Miss Marslin, and Miss Ben Yusuf, I'm gonna struggle with that last name. Nefertiti. The state or defense may have questions of you regarding this case, so please answer their questions. Whoever's being questioned needs to speak into that microphone, just like I'm talking in my microphone. So one at a time. State.
Good morning. Are either of you the sister of the defendant?
She is, yes.
Okay. But you are not Kenado Dennis, correct? Oh, wait, that's. Are you the victim in the case?
Yes.
Okay. Are you afraid of him?
No.
If he were to come back home, would you be comfortable with that?
Yes.
Speaking the
Yes.
I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
I do. I have a question for Nefertiti. And I like to call people by their last name, but I am really struggling with your last name. You're only 15 years old. I want to be sure that what you testified to here today is what you want to say and that nobody asked you to say anything. Did anyone ask you to say what you just said to the prosecutor?
No.
Is that how you truly feel?
Yes.
So you want me to let him come home?
Yes.
All right. And did the mom want to say anything? Because I'm going to go by what she says. All right. At this time, I'm going to order a bond of $500. I'm going to order you have no hostile contact with the victim, which is your sister. Order that you possess no firearms and no weapons, and that you surrender any firearms or weapons to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You think you can comply with that, Mr. Dennis?
Yes, I can.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you, Ms. Marslin, and thank you, Nefertiti. I can't do that last name. Marvin Emmanuel Fahy.
Yes.
Mr. Fahy, the court does find probable cause for the charge of battery, domestic violence, and bond is set at $500, as well as the court is ordering that you have no contact with the victim.
Okay.
The court will allow a one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to recover any personal effects and belongings, but otherwise you must not return to where this happened. The court is ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons and surrender any firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I am also revoking the bond in case number 2021 CF 16078 AO. As to all counts, bond is set at zero bond. Ellery Faith Hardeman.
Yes, ma'am.
The court finds probable cause for the charge of battery, domestic violence. Bond is set at $500. The court is ordering as a condition of bond that you have no contact with the victim and not return to the location where this incident occurred, with the exception of one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement, that you surrender all firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release, and possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of bond. Thank you. Priya Tulsidis Naye. These are not coming. The Naye. And then Reyes is next, but there. Ms. Naye? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you Ms. Naye? Okay. The court does find probable cause for the charge of battery, domestic violence, and I am ordering a bond of $500.
Your Honor,
Mm-hmm.
there does appear to be a victim here.
Okay, I don't see anybody.
Oh, but well, she's present but does not want to testify.
She's the
Oh, she's the mother. I apologize, Your Honor.
All right, okay. The court is ordering a bond of $500, as well as the court is ordering you have no contact with the victim in this case, and that you possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of your bond. Further, you must surrender any firearms or weapons to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. In this case, the court is amending it from bond to bond or PTR. Bond or PTR, same conditions, whether bond or PTR. Cynthia Reyes.
Okay.
Cynthia Reyes. The court finds probable cause for the offense of battery, domestic violence, and I'll order a bond of $500 or PTR. As a condition of bond or PTR, you must have no contact with the victim. You must not return to the location where this incident occurred, with the exception of one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve personal effects and belongings. You must surrender all weapons or firearms in your possession to law enforcement and possess no weapons or firearms as a condition of your bond or PTR. Thank you. Harry Randall Shears. Mr. Shears, the court finds probable cause for battery, domestic violence, and the court will order a bond of $1,000. As a condition of bond, the court is ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, that you surrender any firearms or weapons to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Further, the court is ordering that you not return to the location where this incident occurred, with the exception of one time in the presence of law enforcement to recover any personal effects and belongings. The court is ordering that you possess no alcohol, you consume no alcohol as a condition of bond, as well as that you submit to random alcohol monitoring. Thank you, sir. Mr. Bragg?
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas, the court, okay, sir, you were picked up on a violation of probation for an out-of-county warrant from Volusia,
Yes.
and bond is going to stay at zero bond in your case.
Okay.
Cal Burnham,
It's already handled. It's like handling my case right now. All right.
Mr. Burnham, you were picked up on an out-of-county warrant from Volusia for a violation of probation. Bond does remain set at no bond in your case. Billy Kason.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kason, you were picked up from out-of-county warrants from Polk County for violation of probation. As to both counts, bond will remain set at no bond in your case. Anthony Ellington, you were picked up on a VOP warrant from Osceola County. Bond will remain set at no bond in your case, sir. David Russell. All right, Mr. Russell, sir, you were picked up on a warrant from Lake County for domestic violence. Bond will remain set at no bond in your case.
Yes, ma'am.
Mark Stephen Wilson, you are picked up on a violation of probation out of Miami-Dade. Bond will remain set at no bond in your case. Aaron Reynardo Ford, you have two cases for violation of probation. Bond will remain set at no bond in each case. You have a separate case for failure to appear, and bond will be set at $500 for the failure to appear. Demarcus Kamaris Miller, you were picked up for a violation of your probation, and bond will remain set at no bond. Israel Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
you are picked up for violation of your community control. Bond will remain set at no bond. Are there any other matters?
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Okay, none of them do. Okay, all right. Yalver Yancel Fernandez Diaz,
Yes, ma'am.
and Officer of Public Defender was appointed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you're here on your arraignment for an expired driver's license for more than 6 months. I'll enter a not guilty plea and schedule pretrial.
Well, Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve with withholding the time served on the CT 694 case. I spoke with Mr. Diaz about resolving that today. I believe he wishes to, signing the plea form now. I believe he wishes to resolve with a plea of no contest.
That's fine.
And then he does have a second case at 21 MO 311, but I'll wait to enter a plea there, Your Honor. May I
Okay.
approach?
Yeah, that's fine. You're entering a not guilty plea on the other case?
On the CT case, 694,
No, the other case, the MO case.
the MO case, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty. We are not resolving that one today. There's a pretrial diversion pending. He's already completed. I believe it just has to go through confirmation from the state.
Mr. Fernandez Diaz, is this your signature here at the bottom of this plea form?
Ma'am.
Did you read the plea form in its entirety before you signed it? Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs or medicine at this time?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that you're giving up all the rights on this plea form by entering your plea of no contest?
Yes.
Do you understand that a conviction on this case will subject you to deportation if you're not a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, there's a sufficient factual basis in your case. You're alert, you're intelligent. I'll withhold adjudication of guilt and order credit for time served and mandatory court costs. The court costs must be paid within 180 days at the clerk of court. You can request an extension of time if you're unable to pay it within that time frame. As to the time served, how many days does he have? 5 days. And you'll be given credit for the 5 days that you have served. You have the right to appeal the sentence. If you wish to appeal, you must do so in writing within 30 days of today's date. Any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. A not guilty plea is entered in this MO case. Angel? Oh, sorry.
Division 62, pretrial conference, February 21st at 8:30, courtroom 12C.
Angel Raymond Perez.
Is medical, Your Honor?
We'll waive the appearance and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor, if appointed.
I will appoint the public defender in this case.
Division 82, pretrial conference, March 22nd at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9B.
I'll consolidate the TR case and set it along with the CT case. Is this it? Okay. There we go. Cody Brett Smith, or Brett Smith Cody, sorry. Medical. All right, the public defender was appointed in that case.
We'll waive the appearance and enter a plea of not guilty.
Not guilty plea is entered.
Division 63, pretrial conference, March 10th
Kimmel, sorry,
at 1 o'clock, courtroom 10B.
Kamal Akeem Hills. Public defender was appointed in that case as well.
We're going to enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
The court will enter the not guilty plea. Set this for pretrial.
Division 85, pretrial conference, February 28th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4A.
Lavar's DeMonte Foster. Mr. Foster, you're here for your arraignment on a charge of trespass in an occupied structure. The public defender was previously appointed.
There was an offer to resolve, Your Honor. The offer from the state was an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the 7-Eleven on 605 West Colonial Drive, and a cost of investigation of $60.48 to Orlando Police Department. I had a chance to speak with Mr. Foster about the state's offer, as well as went over the plea form with him, and he's going to resolve with a no contest plea today.
Can you repeat the cost of investigation?
Yes, Your Honor. $60.48 to OPD, Orlando Police. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may. All right, Mr. Foster, is this your signature here at the bottom of this plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read this plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs or medication today?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that by entering your plea of no contest, you're giving up all the rights on the plea form?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
understand a conviction on your case will subject you to being deported if you're not a U.S. citizen?
Ma'am.
So I reviewed your file. There's a sufficient factual basis. You're alert, you're intelligent. I'll adjudicate you guilty. Order 27 days in jail with credit for 27 days time served. Further, sir, I will order you not to return to 605 West Colonial Drive, and order that you pay all mandatory court costs as well as costs of investigation in the amount of $60.48 payable to Orlando Police Department. Monies must be paid within 180 days of your release. I'm ordering your release as to this charge. You may request an extension of time on payments if you're unable to pay it in the time that I have ordered. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
You have the right to appeal the sentence. If you wish to appeal, you must do so in writing within 30 days of today's date. Thank you, sir. You may exit.
Okay.
Timothy Wade Hitchcock.
Yes.
All right, sir, this time you're being arraigned on a charge of trespass on property other than a structure or a conveyance. I'll enter a not guilty plea.
Your Honor, before I do that, there was an offer to resolve an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the Walgreens at 2420 East Colonial Drive, and a cost of investigation of $108.04 to Orlando Police. I did have a chance to speak with Mr. Hitchcock as a friend of the court, so there's no need to appoint us. I went over the state's offer as well as a plea form with him, and I believe he wishes resolved with a no contest.
What is the location that he is being ordered to not return to?
It's a Walgreens. The address is 2420 East Colonial Drive. May I approach with the plea form, Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Hitchcock, how do you wish to enter your plea to the charge of trespass?
No contest.
And have you discussed this with the attorney that's standing next to you as a friend to the court?
Yes.
Did you have any questions about the plea form that
May I approach?
the attorney is handing to me? Do you have any questions about this form?
No.
Did you read it?
Yes.
Do you understand that you're giving up the rights on that form by entering this plea of no contest? Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs or medicine today? No. Do you understand that conviction on this case will subject you to deportation if you're not a U.S. citizen? There is a sufficient factual basis. You're alert, you're intelligent. At this time, I'll adjudicate you guilty. Order 29 days in jail, credit for 29 days time served. Order that you not return to 2420 East Colonial Drive. Further, I'm ordering all mandatory court costs as well as $108.04 cost of investigation payable to Orlando Police Department. All monies must be paid within 180 days of your release. I am releasing you as to this charge. If you need an extension of time on the payments, you must request that through the clerk of courts. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
You have the right to appeal the sentence. If you wish to appeal, you must do so in writing within 30 days of today's date. At this time, you may exit. Enrique Lorenzo LeBaron Stubbs. You're being arraigned on a charge of petty theft, second-degree misdemeanor. I'll enter a not guilty plea.
There was an offer to resolve this as well, Your Honor. An adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return to the Walmart at 8101 South John Young Parkway. I did go over the state's offer with Mr. LeBaron Stubbs, as well as a plea form. I believe he wishes to resolve with a no contest plea. It's fine. It does the same thing. It does the same thing. That's right. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may. All right, Mr. Baron Stubbs, is this your signature here at the bottom of this plea form? Did you read this document in its entirety before you signed it?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs or medicine today?
No.
You understand a conviction on this case will subject you to being deported if you're not a United States citizen?
Yes.
There is a sufficient factual basis in your case, sir. You are alert, you're intelligent, you'll be adjudicated guilty in order to serve 28 days in jail, with credit for the 28 days that you have already served. Further, sir, I'm ordering that you not return to 8101 South John Young Parkway and ordering credit for time, ordering mandatory court costs in this case. All mandatory court costs are required to be paid through the clerk's payment program within 180 days of your release. I am ordering your release as to this charge. If you need an extension of time on those payments, you must request that in person with the clerk of courts. You have the right to appeal the sentence. If you wish to appeal, you must do so in writing within 30 days of today's date. Do you have any questions?
No.
You may exit. Tyrone Renard Thompson.
He's medical.
The public defender was appointed.
We'll waive the appearance and enter a plea of not guilty.
All right, the court will enter a not guilty plea.
Division 82, pretrial conference, March 22nd at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9B.
Antonio Torres. Are you Antonio Torres? All right, now you're being actually, hold on one moment.
May I have a moment to confer, Your Honor?
Yes. No, I'll look it up on here.
We're ready, Your Honor.
What's the status on Mr. Torres's case?
We're going to enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right. Plea of not guilty entered.
Division 62, pretrial conference, February 21st at 8:30, courtroom 12C.
12C?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Valerie Wright. You're being arraigned, Ms. Wright, on a charge of criminal mischief. And I will enter a not guilty plea on that case. The public defender is appointed.
Division 82, pretrial conference, March 22nd at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9B.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, let's see. Try it again.
Good afternoon. This is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter on the line. Already sworn in this morning, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. The first case is Jose Manuel Irizarry Rivera, case number 2018 MM4678AO.
MM4678 AO, Your Honor?
Correct.
Thank you.
And he already has the headphones on. Can you do your sound check?
Sí, te oigo.
Yes, he can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, let's swear in Mr. Irizarry.
You solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God. Thank you.
All right.
I do.
Mr. Irizarry Rivera, sir, you were picked up for failure to appear on 7 counts. A bond is set at no bond on each of the 7 counts. Now I am appointing the public defender to represent you in this case.
Is that all?
Yes, thank you, sir. Madam Interpreter, the next case. Is this one of the ones I gave you? Okay. One moment, Madam Interpreter.
Not a problem, Your Honor.
All right, the case number is 2022 CF 823. And there's a second case, 2022 21 CT 470 AO. The defendant is Fridal Humberto Merlo. And he's wearing the headphones.
Say it.
Yes, he can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Merlo, raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Merlo, the court does find probable cause for the charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And I am going to order a bond in that case of $2,500. I'm going to order that you have no contact with the victim, that you surrender all weapons and firearms to law enforcement within 24 hours of release, and that you possess no firearms or weapons, that you not return to the location where this incident occurred. You also have another case where you picked up for failure to appear, and bond is going to remain set at $500 in that case. The public defender is appointed on both of your cases.
Your Honor, can you also advise the defendant that he has an immigration hold?
Yes, and sir, I'm also informing you at this time of an immigration hold, which will interfere with your bonding out on these cases. Thank you, sir. Eric, Miss Interpreter, there's this next case is Eric Pagan Walters. He needs a Spanish interpreter. Oh, okay. Miss Interpreter, I think that might be it. Is that it? Thank you, Miss Interpreter.
Okay. You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a great day.
You do the same. Eric Pagan Walters.
Recused.
Okay. We'll reset it. Antoine Jamal Champion. Are you Antoine Jamal Champion?
Yes.
All right, the court finds probable cause for the charge of resisting an officer without violence, and bond is set at $500.
There was an offer to resolve, Your Honor, so withhold and time served. I went over the offer with Mr. Champion as well as went over the plea form. I believe he wishes to resolve with no contest plea, if I may approach.
You may. Mr. Champion, sir, is this your signature here at the bottom of this plea form?
Yes, it is.
Did you read this document in its entirety before you signed it?
I have, Your Honor.
Did you have any questions about anything contained on this form?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs or medicine?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that by entering your plea of no contest, you're giving up all the rights on the front of this document?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that a conviction will subject you to deportation if you're not a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a sufficient factual basis, you're alert, you're intelligent, our order of withhold of adjudication of guilt, order credit for time served, and order you to pay all mandatory court costs through the clerk's payment program within 180 days of your release. I am ordering your release as to this charge. How much time served? Yeah.
Yes, 2 days.
The time served awarded is 2 days. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
You have the right to appeal the sentence. If you wish to appeal, you must do so in writing within 30 days of today's date. Thank you, sir. Yes, the public defender is appointed. Let me just say for the record that the public defender is appointed on all cases unless the public defender identifies a conflict or Wise tells me they don't want to be appointed.
I did speak with Mr. Champion as a friend of the court.
Well,
It saves him
okay.
$50.
Well, it's fine. Just try to remember to mention it to me before I
Yeah.
appoint, because
course,
I'm
Your Honor.
appointing the public defender on all cases before I actually say it.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, no appointment on that case. That's friend of the court case.
I just want to ask a question.
I have a moment to confirm.
Owen Segal. Owen Segal.
Yes, this is Owen.
All right. So I was notified that somebody was going to be here.
I believe she's out in the gallery, Your Honor.
Is that her?
My guardian.
So my phone is talking to my iPad. Okay, I think I managed to turn it off. Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Jane Harold,
Spell your last name for me, ma'am.
Herold.
All right, Ms. Harold, I was informed that you are the guardian of the defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how I was informed of this for the state and the public defender is that when I was going through the paperwork, I read apparently an email was sent to someone here at the jail, and I don't know who. But Ms. George is on this email, and I guess, Ms. Eugene, is your first name Brenda?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you're on this email too, so you guys were copied on that. And according to this email, the defendant has autism. And
Yes, he
his
does.
guardian would be attending court today and had asked if she could speak on his behalf. And I'm gonna allow that because I wanna know more about what his condition is, what his situation is. Since you all were notified of this, you may have questions. I don't think you were notified, but Ms. George was,
Your Honor.
Ms. George was on the email.
That's right, Your Honor.
So you all may have questions, but there is probable cause for this charge of battery. And state, I don't know if you have any questions. I don't know if the defense have any questions or if you all have any input on how you think the court should resolve this case today. I would be interested in knowing any insight that you may have. All right, so ma'am, either of the lawyers may ask you questions, okay? You just
Okay.
need to tell us what you think can help me make best decisions regarding Mr. Segal, okay?
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You are the guardian of the defendant, correct?
Correct.
And you have been his guardian for how long?
2.5 years?
In that time, has he lived at the same location?
No, he has not.
How long has he been at this residence?
He has been at this residence about 3.5 months.
If he were not allowed to go back to that particular residence, is there an alternative place that he could go?
We are trying to get him a new residence because they have given us a 30-day notice. Right now, there is no place else for him to go except back to that residence, which in my mind, I don't think is a good idea.
So is there an alternative then for him going to another residence?
I don't have another residence set up right now.
Does he have to be in residential care, or is it possible for him to be outside of a home?
He has to be in residential care.
Have you spoken to anyone at the facility?
I have spoken with Nathaniel, the owner of it, and he had told me before this ordeal of last night that he was no longer welcome back at the house.
Overruled.
Did the owner of the facility offer any solutions to what might happen should the defendant return and the employee still be there? Did he offer any solutions such as?
No, ma'am.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Ma'am, what's the nature of your guardianship relationship with Mr. Segal?
I am his professional guardian. I do the annual reports and kind of oversee, like for his schooling, things like that. The facilities take care of all of his, the monies.
Are you aware of any family?
Yes, he has a mom and a dad.
And in response to the state's questions, you said that you were unaware of any other alternative placement for him. Can you tell me what is the restriction as to why his parents could not serve as providing a temporary residence for him?
I do not believe that would happen. I can reach out to them to see.
Mm-hmm. What about any other relatives other than the mom and the dad in the area?
None that I know of.
Okay, just the mom and dad. Okay. Did you have any questions, Mr. Prince?
Does he have a guardian advocate?
He has a support coordinator, and his name is John Kurtz.
Does this person make medical decisions on his behalf?
No, I do.
So you make medical decisions
Yes.
on his, if he's prescribed any medication, will you make sure he takes any prescribed medication?
I make sure that the facility knows that he's on that medication. I don't physically go every day to make sure he's taking medication.
Will you speak with the public defender's social services for any possible referrals to other housing options?
I would, yes.
No more questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I do actually have another question. Do you know of, if I ordered a bond in this case, do you feel like Mr. Segal would be able to bond out?
If the owner of the group home has the money, I do not control money.
So where is the money?
It's in Nathaniel's hands at the group home.
What's the name of the group home?
Windermere Home Services.
Windermere Home Services?
Mm-hmm.
And what is Nathaniel's last name?
Your Honor, I believe his name's Nathaniel Hernandez.
Ms. Harold, is
I
it
believe that's what
possibly
it is. I
Nathaniel
don't have it written on
Hernandez?
this paper.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. And is the money, Mr. Segal's SSI money, is it directed to the group home?
Yes.
No, oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
The money is my SSI money, and I get it every month, and I have some left over from that I didn't spend. Whenever I need something, they're supposed to go and get it for me. I haven't really gotten anything this month or last month, except like when I went to the group home. Basically, they took my phones away. They said no more phones. They had me buy a tablet and a switch because I couldn't play on my phones and talk to my friends.
Okay, let me ask Ms. Harold another question. Ms. Harold, what was his placement before 3.5 months ago?
He was at Devereaux, which is in Winter Park. It's a
Do you have,
behavioral.
do you have any knowledge as to why Devereaux would not be a potential option to go back?
Because they had given us notice that he had to leave there for behavioral issues.
Behavior issue.
But can I say something?
Yes, you can say something.
Aren't they there for behavior help, Deborah?
Well,
I'm sorry.
So, Ms. Harold, thank you so much for coming. Mr. Segal,
Yes, that's me. Yeah.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you,
Okay.
and I'm going to order a bond of $500.
I already have that. It's on here.
Okay?
Right here, sir.
You can't get out unless somebody posts that bond for you.
I don't know how.
Well, the public defender is standing right next to you. He's the lawyer who's going to, he may not be the one who represents you after today, but he's going to make sure that the public defenders who are assigned in your division know about your case.
Okay, and I don't think they're gonna pay it for me because that's the owner, Nate.
I am willing to reconsider the bond and either order PTR or some other option after I hear from the public defender.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, I think pretrial release is a perfect release condition in this scenario. We've had witness testimony as to his housing situation as well as his financial situation. If you aren't inclined to set PTR, I would have you set a $100 bond to lower it from the 500 to make it more financially feasible for Mr. Segal.
I'll grant that. I will reduce the bond to $100. I want you to know that I will consider PTR after I hear more details about it, because he needs somewhere to go. And according to Ms. Harold, there is nowhere for him to go at this point. So bonding out is his only option. And he may not be able to bond out if the money is tied up with the facility that he's placed with. So you need to contact the attorneys that are going to be assigned to his case. Wait a minute, Mr. Segal, let me just finish talking to Mr. Brandt.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. And make sure that they are aware that I am open to anything that can release him safely to anyone. And I guess, do you mind the lawyer contacting you, Ms. Harold?
Not at all.
So, Ms. Harold, can we have your contact information to put in the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Harold, may I inquire
Yes.
a secondary question about release? If he was released today on a pretrial release, which means he doesn't have to pay a monetary amount, but there'll be supervision from pretrial services.
No, he needs an address, does he not?
Well, I was going to ask if he was released today, would you be able to take him in temporarily at your residence to have?
No, sir, I can't do that legally.
That's fine.
Ms. Harold, I'll just need your contact information, that's all, if you don't mind.
My phone number?
Mr. Brandt, would you please take this down to make sure you give it to the, see, how it works, Ms. Harold, is he's going to get different lawyers.
Okay.
So the lawyer in the courtroom is not today is not the actual lawyer that's going to represent him. So I want to make sure that the lawyers who are going to represent him are able to contact you as quickly as possible to begin the process of trying to make sure he is able to safely get out of jail. Because if he posts the bond, I'm afraid, where will he go?
I'm going to actually talk to his mom and his dad and see if he can temporarily go there till we can find him a place.
That is going to be greatly appreciated. So let them know that the bond is $100. And they can either attempt to get the money diverted back from this group home to help post that bond or post the bond on his behalf.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
just like to bring to the court's attention, his parents, when they did the petition in order to appoint the guardian, they were living in Gainesville. I don't know if they're still there because that was 2.5 years ago. I did just want to bring to the court's attention that if he does go to live with his parents, he would be leaving the jurisdiction.
Does the state have a problem with that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, because I don't have a problem with that. As long as he keeps in touch with his lawyer, his public defender, who I'm appointing today on this case.
I was taking Miss Harold's phone number.
Yes, Miss Harold, please.
It's 407-227-4201.
All right.
And just another moment, Your Honor, I think, I want, yes, another.
Ms. Harold, do you know if the parents still live out of county?
They do.
All right. The defendant, if the parents accept the defendant, the court will allow the defendant to reside with the parents until an appropriate facility can be located for the defendant.
Okay. I mean, I don't have my phone or anything with me, so I can't contact them right at the moment.
I understand, ma'am.
They will.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Segal.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
are you imposing the condition of no return?
Do it.
Oh, did I not do that already? Yes, I will. I will impose a no return condition. Mr. Segal, you cannot return to the location where this incident occurred. You cannot go back there if you bond out, okay?
Okay,
You are allowed a one-time visit. Could you help him facilitate that to get his personal belongings?
When he gets out of here, yes.
Yes, you allow a one-time visit to retrieve your personal belongings. If, Ms. Harold, you may have already retrieved them before he gets out. I don't know.
Also, sorry, I have 2 phones there that they have in the lockbox. You remember I bought the phone? And I called you on them, and the iPhone and the Android? You remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor?
Yes.
If you end up getting my stuff before I get it out.
Okay, Owen.
Just for clarity, do you mind going over all of the conditions?
Yes, ma'am, I'll read, I don't think I did the conditions. I'll just do the conditions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bond is set at $100. You are ordered to possess no firearms and possess no weapons as a condition of your bond. You are required to surrender any firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. If you don't have any, then you don't have to surrender any. You are ordered to not return to the Windermere Home Services with the exception of a one-time visit in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings and effects. But please contact Ms. Harold first to see if she's already retrieved your personal belongings on your behalf.
Oh, can he write it down for me?
Yes, that will be written down for you. Ms. Harold, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're excused.
There's a contact.
Thank you, Mr. Segal.
Oh, I'm done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Get my stuff. Yeah. Confused.
Go there. Once you say, I need you,
Keeping this.
Show them this.
but they'll see the.
I'm gonna lose all this. No, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna end up.
It says
You sign it. Do they know I'm not joking?
care.
Jamel Taylor. Taylor. The court finds probable cause for the charge of petty theft. Bond will remain set at $500. The court is not taking any action on your other case that you're out on bond on.
Your Honor, can I ask for no return to that Walmart?
Yes, ma'am. The court will order no return to the location where this incident occurred. Roberto Johnson. Roberto Johnson, you were picked up on a failure to appear warrant. The bond will stay set at $2,000 as to both count 1 and count 2. Thank you, sir. Jamarco Tornell Simons. Mr. Simons, sir, you were picked up for failure to appear. Bond will remain set at $500.
Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve this case. Mr. Simons.
The court's not inclined to resolve this case at this time.
At all? Even, you don't want to hear the offer either, Your Honor?
Is the offer probation?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Your Honor, he has served 73 days in Orange County Jail.
Is the offer probation?
No.
No.
Okay.
Does he want to go on probation?
No, ma'am. Can you at least hit an offer, Your Honor?
If the offer does not involve probation, then I am not going to accept it because there's a class that I would want him to take as a condition of the probation based on the charge.
Ma'am, they dropped the charge to a misdemeanor. The charge is a falsified charge, ma'am.
Did I order the bond? Okay. Is the defendant willing to go on probation?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay, all right then. Sorry, sir.
What I supposed to do, man?
Follow that, deputy. Sorry for being the worstest lady in the world. Vanessa Renee Cruz. Thank you. Shakira Jeer. Ma'am, the court finds probable cause for your charge of possession of an open container.
Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve, and I spoke to Mrs. Gear as a friend of the court. The offer from the city, I believe, is they withhold and a credit time served. I went over that offer with Ms. Gear as well as a plea form. I believe she wishes to resolve no contest.
It's a city case?
City case, right?
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you discussed this with the city prosecutor?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Is this an offer from the city prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I believe the state has authority to do that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes. Is the city seeking any filing fees or cost of investigation?
No cost of investigation, Your Honor. If there are any filing fees, then yes.
I don't know of any. Ms. Gear, only if they're seeking it. Ms. Gear, is this your signature here at the bottom of this plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read this plea form in its entirety before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions about anything on this document?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that by entering your plea of no contest, you're giving up all those rights on the document?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs or medicine? Do you understand a conviction on your case will subject you to being deported if you're not a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
I reviewed your file. There's a sufficient factual basis. I will withhold adjudication of guilt. Order mandatory court costs to be paid within 180 days of your release. I am releasing you as to this charge. You must also serve, how much time served does she have?
2 days.
2 days in jail, and then I'll give you credit for the 2 days that you have already served. You have the right to to appeal the sentence. If you wish to appeal, you must do so in writing within 30 days of today's date. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, you may exit for your paperwork. Ivalisha Yvonne Green. Thank you. Carlos Thompson.
Present.
Mr. Thompson, the court does find probable cause for the charge of possession of and consumption of alcohol in a public place. Bond is set at $250.
Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve another city offer, a withholding and credit time served. I spoke with Mr. Thompson as a friend of the court.
Mhm.
I believe he wishes to resolve with a time served, or, excuse me, a plea of no contest. May I approach?
Yes, you may. Mr. Thompson, sir, is this your signature here at the bottom of this plea form?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Did you read the plea form in its entirety before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you have any questions about anything contained on that plea form? Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs or medicine?
No.
Do you understand a conviction on your case will subject you to deportation if you're not a U.S. citizen? All right, I reviewed your file. There's a sufficient factual basis. You're alert, you're intelligent. I'll withhold adjudication of guilt and order mandatory court costs, which must be paid within 180 days of your release, and I am ordering your release as to this charge. I'm also ordering credit for time served in the amount of how many days?
2 days.
2 days. You have the right to appeal the sentence. If you wish to appeal, you must do so in writing within 30 days of today's date. Sir, if for any reason you cannot make the payment that I've ordered, you must request an extension of time from the clerk of courts. Thank you, sir. Isaiah Stephen Belgrave. All right, Mr. Belgrave, bonded. I have 2 cases. Scott K. Bell. Mr. Bell, the court finds probable cause for the charge of burglary of a conveyance. Bond is set at $3,500, and I'm ordering that you not return to the location where this incident occurred. I further am revoking the bond in case number 2021 MM 9188AO and setting bond. I'm revoking the ROR and setting the bond at no bond on both count 1 and count 2. Keith Allen Blackstock. Sir, the court finds probable cause for the charge of battery on a law enforcement officer. Bond will remain set at $2,500. The court finds probable cause for written threats to kill or do bodily harm. Bond is set at $10,000. Aggravated stalking with a credible threat. Bond is set at $5,000. The court is ordering that you have no contact whatsoever with the victims in these cases, that you not return to the location where these incidents occurred, that you surrender all firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of release, and possess no firearms or weapons as a condition of bond. Thank you, sir. Lisa Ann Catrone. Lisa Catrone. Ma'am, you were picked up for failure to appear for pretrial. Bond is set at $2,500. Thank you, Ms. Patron. Jeremy Ryan Cherry. Mr. Cherry. court finds probable cause for the following charges: aggravated battery, count 1, bond is set at $5,000. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, count 2, bond is set at $5,000. False imprisonment, count 3, bond is set at $5,000. Child abuse, count 4, bond is set at $3,500. Tampering with a witness, count 5, bond is set at $150. The court is further ordering that you have no contact with the victim or the victim's family, no contact with the child, that you not return to the scene where this occurred, that you not possess any weapons or firearms as a condition of bond, and surrender any firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And thank you, sir. And Kevin Clark.
Yes,
The court finds probable cause in your case for robbery by sudden snatching. State, the court is inclined to set a bond in this case. However, let me see here. The court does want the state's input.
One moment, Your Honor.
So, state, in this case, it appears that the incident occurred at a business, but it appears that there's a relationship between the victim and the defendant. And so if I order him not to return to the business, that's, you know, that's gonna take care of where it happened at, but I don't know, I don't know the extent of the relationship. And so I just want the state to, assist me with that.
If you can hold for just one moment, Your Honor, I'm looking the information.
Sure, yes, ma'am. State, if it's a situation where you need a witness testimony, I'll just leave bond set at no bond, and defense has to set a hearing on it.
No, Your Honor, I think it should be just as simple as me being able to read the affidavit. As it was Acapia's, there was no
All right.
affidavit attached to it.
I have the affidavit, if you want to read it.
I've just pulled it up, but thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
At least I thought I did. Nope, I did not.
Is it a warrant or a capias?
There's an affidavit. It's not a case.
Thank you.
All right, I'm just going to go ahead on and I'm going to do what I think is best in this case based on my reading of the affidavit. It, as the state said, it's just a simple reading of the affidavit. I just, out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to order what I believe will best protect the victim in this case. As to count 1, robbery, sudden snatching, I will set bond at $10,000. As to count 2, battery, felony battery, I'll set bond at $3,500. I'll order no contact whatsoever with the victim. And that includes contact on social media, websites of any sort, dating apps or texting or any sort of contact, no contact. Do not go to the victim's home or victim's place of work. The court is ordering that you not return to the location where this incident occurred at. Well, part of it occurred on the highway, but the business where this incident occurred, Top Golf, you are not to return to that location. If I could, I would order you to stay off the highways where the other part of the incident occurred, but I can't order that since the highway is too long. But, State, I think that is enough to protect the victim. Now that you've had time to look through it, is there anything else that you want me to order?
No, Your Honor, I think that covers it.
Okay.
My reading of it, they were just there on a date.
Yeah, well, sometimes people, it's the first date and sometimes it's the 100th date. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
So,
No, Your Honor, I think that covers it.
so I don't know how well they know each other. I ordered what I think best protects the victim, so. Thank you, sir. Gerard Dunlap. Mr. Dunlap, the court finds probable cause for the charge of aggravated battery on a pregnant person. Bond is stays set at $3,500 in your case. I'm ordering that you have no contact whatsoever with the victim, that you not return to the location where this incident occurred, with the exception of a one-time visit to retrieve any personal belongings. Further, I am ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons and surrender any firearms or weapons in your possession to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Thank you, sir. Hakeem Jawan Hakeem Glee. Mr. Glee, the court finds probable cause for sale or delivery of fentanyl. Bond stays set at $15,000, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Bond is set at $150. Thank you, sir. Chad Allen Hansen. Mr. Hansen, court finds probable cause for possession of fentanyl. Bond is set at $1,000, and possession of paraphernalia. Bond is set at $150. Thank you, sir. Charmaine Isaac. Charmaine Isaac. Are you Charmaine Isaac? All right. The court finds probable cause of possession of 3,4-methylene methamphetamine MDMA ecstasy, and bond is set at $1,000, and possession of paraphernalia. Bond is set at $500. What's the release status on the other case, 2021 CF 5433AO? What was the release status on that? Was there a bond? Was it PTR? What was it? Pretrial diversion? Was the person actually in pretrial diversion? I mean, what's going on that case?
I will double check, Your Honor, but there was a note that she's in pretrial diversion, but I will double check the information.
So what I have is pretrial diversion, but most times when people still have a bond or an ROR, even if they are now in pretrial diversion. So I want to know what the original release status was.
It was originally a bond, Your Honor, but it was discharged.
It was discharged?
Yes, as of November the 30th of last year.
Okay. The court is revoking the pretrial diversion and ordering a bond of no bond on count 1 and count 2 in 2021 CF 5433AO. Macaulay Andre Johnson. Sir, you were picked up on a violation of probation, failure to appear for your arraignment, and a bond is set at no bond in that case. Oh, that's the one. Okay. Do I have access to the 33 pages? Oh, here it is, arrest affidavit. Sorry, I thought I was looking at the right thing. I was looking at the wrong thing. Well, actually, still only same thing as what I have. I looked at the probable cause supporting document and I only saw one page, but maybe I looked at it wrong. Let's see. Oh, it did. I got it. I got it to say I have it. The next defendant I have is Zachariah Jules. Is that who this is?
Present, Your Honor, yes.
All right, one moment.
I believe he has private counsel on his out on bond case. I don't know if they can be contacted to be heard.
I don't contact private lawyers to be heard. I mean, is that something that is new? Court contacts private attorneys to be heard? Or do they know when their client is coming to court and they contact the court to be heard? That's kind of how it works.
I'm split on, I can argue for his new case, but I can't give him too much advice
Just to
on his
answer the
out-of-bond.
question of contacting private counsel, that's not the court's responsibility. Private counsel is welcome to contact the court or contact other counsel.
Here, you can make an argument. They can understand that.
All right. Um, The court, I'll just recall the case for the record. Zachariah Elijah Jules. As to count one, leaving the scene of a crash with a death, fatality, the court finds probable cause and sets bond at $100,000. Tampering with physical evidence, there's probable cause, bond remains set at $150. False reports of the commission of a crime, there's probable cause and bond remains set at $100. As to case number 2021 CF 250AO, a bond is revoked. Bond is set at no bond on all counts.
Go ahead. Your Honor, may Mr. Jules be heard?
May he be heard regarding which case?
Is that on bond case?
Is that the case you represent him on?
No.
Is that the case that you made reference to the potential that a private attorney represents him on?
That's right, Your Honor, but I have advised him of the situation and the context here with out on bond cases.
Mr. Brent, is that the case that you are aware that a private attorney represents him on?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then no, I will not hear anything from him regarding a case that he is represented by legal counsel on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Without the presence of his legal counsel.
Of course, Your Honor.
Thank you. No, I'll order them. The conditions, bring him back. A court will order, oh, he isn't back yet. Get him back in here. They moving fast. Conditions of bond are as follows. You are ordered to have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim or witnesses in the case or victim's family. Do not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition as a condition of bond, and surrender any weapons or firearms to law enforcement within 24 hours of release. Do not drive without a valid driver's license. Do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs or controlled substances without a valid prescription. All of those are conditions of the bond. And now he may be escorted out.
Of which bond, though?
The one where there is a bond, the new case. The bond has been revoked in the older case.
Could I just say one thing?
No, because you have a lawyer and your lawyer will need to speak for you. Thank you. I'm assuming that when the public defender told me he had a lawyer, that you're accurate in that. So
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
I'm assuming when you told me he had a lawyer, that you're accurate in that.
I believe so, Your Honor, and I'm telling him there was no further legal argument.
Mm-hmm.
He still wished to be heard. But
Mm-hmm.
I agreed with the court to remain silent as to the case.
Right, okay, thank you. Omari Landry?
He refused.
Oh, we'll reset it. Jalen Mims? I did. I mean, where's the attorney? Don't they have to come in here? Via phone? Which one? Is it the same one that I use for my law clerk? Because I have it up. I have that. Is it the BRCC or courtroom one space? Okay. See the recents, and then you do this one, BRCCR1 meet at OCN, that's one up, that's up. Yeah, that's already up. I keep that one up. It's already up. Is there an attorney from the Cohen firm on the video, on the audio portal? The name I was given, Sarah De Palma. Is Sarah De Palma on the audio portal? Okay, the portal is up, it's on, and I guess the attorney's not present. All right, you're picked up for failure to appear, and bond will stay set at no bond in that case.
Your Honor, is that the case that supposedly has private counsel?
Yes, this is Jalen Mims. Counsel Sarah De Palma, I was notified, would have liked to attend and was authorized to attend, but is not present. I don't know how to call. I mean, I just, okay, you can try it. All right, go ahead and try. Yeah, that's fine. No answer? If she comes on the link, we'll bring him back. Deanna Patrick. Ms. Patrick, the court finds probable cause in your charge for fleeing and attempting to elude a police officer. Bond is set at $2,500 in that. No valid driver's license, bond is set at $100, and providing false ID to a law enforcement officer, bond is set at $100. Ma'am, you also qualify for PTR, so the court is going to actually enter an order of bond or PTR, bond or PTR. No other conditions. Brian Perez Ponton. Bonded. Previously bonded. Scarlett Ann Sims.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court finds probable cause as to count one unauthorized possession of an identity card. Bond is set at $5,000. Count two, fraudulent use of personal identification information. Bond is set at $2,000. Count three, resisting an officer. Bond is set at $150. Thank you, ma'am.
I apologize, Your Honor. The bond on count two,
2,000.
Thank you.
Charles Antoine Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Smith, you were picked up for failure to appear, and bond will stay set at no bond. The court revokes the ROR in case number 2021 CF 11719 AO and sets bond at no bond.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
would you be inclined to not take any action as I don't believe it was a new law violation to justify revoking a bond? It was a failure to appear.
What says the state?
I was in a whole different. It's okay. It's okay.
What says the state?
Can the defense give me a few more details as to why it's not a new law?
I mean, he can fail to attend court and be capious. But it isn't a new law violation in the sense that he was rearrested on a new law violation. And I think the judge that issues the capias could also have acted on his out on bond case, but did not.
Yes, ma'am?
Your Honor, I have no objection to revoke and double.
You have no objection to, there was an ROR, so there's nothing to double. I mean, do you want to suggest a bond?
Actually, Your Honor, I think this would predate the case that he was on ROR for. It looks as though if this case happened May 10th of 2021, whereas I believe the out on bond happened in August.
The failure to appear case?
The original charge, only the original charge, Your Honor, not the failure to appear.
Yeah, I'm looking at the failure to appear. I'm concerned about the failure to appear. He failed to appear for a plea on November the 9th, 2021. He was ROR'd well in advance of that. So he still needs to come to court when he's supposed to come to court. And if he evidences propensity to refuse to come to court when he's supposed to come to court, then I can revoke his bond or his ROR status, and I am revoking his ROR status. Yes, I'll go ahead and set a bond.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and set a bond. It doesn't seem like the state really has a major objection to me setting a bond, so I'm gonna set one.
Would the court be inclined to a $500 bond?
Well, I'm not gonna set one that low. I'll set a bond of $1,000. The bond in case number 2021 CF 11719 is set at $1,000. The ROR is revoked. There we go. Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Stephanie Lynn Zatkowski?
Bonded.
Okay, bonded. Timothy Paul Taylor. The court does find probable cause for possession of 3,4-methylene methamphetamine MDMA ecstasy. Count 1, bond is stayed at $1,000. Count 2, destruction of evidence, bond is stayed at $150. Robert Watson.
He's mental health.
Mental health. Yes, that's fine. You said it. Malcolm Wellborn.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what we're doing with Mr. Watson. Till tomorrow?
Mr. Wellborn. The court finds probable cause for possession of fentanyl. Bond is set at $2,500, and possession of cocaine. Bond is set at $1,000. The court is revoking the bond on case number 22 CF 1132 AO, and bond is set at no bond. As to the attaching a tag not assigned case, the court finds probable cause, bond is set at $500. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
With regard to 22 CF 1249, I would also ask defendant have no contact with the co-defendants.
The court will order a no contact provision with the co-defendants as to 2022 CF 1249 AO. Anything further, Ms. Eugene?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, anything else? Um, Can I see that email that they sent from the Cohen firm?
Your Honor, I'm here on behalf of the Cohen Law Firm. My name is Sarah DePalma.
All right, Mr. Palmer, thank you. This is Judge Allen, and ma'am, I will recall the case, but I need the file back. Oh, is this it? This is it. Jalen Mims. Mr. Palmer, why were you not here earlier?
I was under the impression that these were starting at 1,
We
and
didn't
I'm not
start
sure.
at 1.
Right, I popped in at 1 o'clock.
I have to do the interpreter cases first, and I really don't know how to have both the attorney meeting line on and the interpreter on at the same time, but it's only like 10 minutes. So, I mean, we didn't start right at 1, actually. We started probably about 1:10. But for the first 10 minutes, I was doing the Spanish cases, and then I put you on, and you never responded, so, anyway. In the future, just understand that we do the interpreter cases first, and, I mean, I just need to figure out whether I can have both on at the same time. I've tried it every day this week, and I just don't know that that's possible. So you cannot hear me while I'm doing the Spanish interpreter cases. And then after I'm finished with them, then I go ahead on and I do the other link that you're on right now. This was a failure to appear, Mr. Palmer, and the bond is set at no bond. If you want to be heard on that, that's fine. You may be heard, but the bond is set at no bond.
Yeah, I don't actually have the documentation for it. I wasn't aware that it was a failure to appear.
Yes, ma'am.
We would ask that Your Honor not revoke his bond on the underlying case, and I'm not sure why he failed to appear. But he does live in the area. He's got family in the area. I don't know if he's got any other failures to appear on his criminal history, but we would just ask that you set a bond on both.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to set a bond. It's going to be no bond. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Court, is there anything further before I recess?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Court stands in recess. And before I turn off the box, is my law clerk on the audio portal? Okay. Can you call my JA? I don't know. I mean, I'm just like, I just email her and say, the judge wants to know if the audio portal and the interpreter portal can both be in use at the same time. Because I don't know how to do it. And I want to know how to do it. I played around with it. Yeah, I want it, so she's gonna have to forward it to the AV people. But the question is can I do the interpreter and the attorneys on, because they're two different links. at the same time? And if so, how? She'll need to forward that to the AV, and then they'll have to tell me how to do it.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.